Namaste. Namaste. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Immigration Answer Show. This is episode number 646. Deep breath, all. How's everybody doing? Today is Tuesday. It's an early morning show. We're excited to be here with all of you. I'll be here for the next hour, trying to answer as many of your immigration law-related questions as I can. How's your week been so far? Sounds like Kamala has picked the Minnesota governor to be her running mate. That's exciting. I got a kick out of him. I think he'll be sort of a sounding board for her. And I think the idea that any vice presidential candidate's going to carry a state is probably off track. So I'm excited about the pick. I think when Kamala wins the White House, that he'll be a good sounding board for her, just like Joe Biden was for Barack Obama. So we'll see. That's the big news of the day. I am working on a project, no pun intended, to enlighten all of you about Project 2025. So in the next few days, I'll either do it on the show or I'll do a separate video about all the anti-immigrant things that the Heritage Foundation, the 195 ex-Trump employees and cabinet members who are working for the Heritage Foundation, who cooked up Project 2025, who basically want to stop legal immigration to the United States, that they've cooked up. Trump's trying to distance himself from Project 2025. Those fools said that it's all been shut down. Don't buy any of that. They're still going strong. This is their goals for whomever and whenever there's a Republican president. These are the kinds of evil things they want to do. And I'm going to talk about that with all of you. Let's see who's here so far. We got Nick. We got Tyrone. Good morning. Creaky Bones is here. Jay Cruz checking in from ND. Hina is here. Hello, Hina. Let's see. Nurse Laura is here. MDDS is watching from Qatar. Dammy's here. Hello, Dammy. Rocio's here from Columbus, getting ready for the start of the new school year. Temmy's here. Hello, Temmy. Michael Samuel is in North Carolina. We got Atlanta, Georgia. We got Donna is here in Jamaica, giving a shout out to all the Yardies. Edisumbo says this is the best show in the USA. Thanks for watching. Umaru is back in Yuma. I wonder which is hotter, back home or Yuma. I wonder which one. Let's see. Manu's here. Eve is here. Glenn S is here. Julian asks if I'm optimistic. I am a little bit more optimistic than I was before. James Mensa's checking in from Amsterdam. We got New Jersey with Maggie. We got Nisa giving a shout out to Kamala. I think everybody's a little more optimistic. There's breakfast discussions going on. We got Jonesboro. I assume that's Arkansas. Daniel's checking in. AE. Rich is giving the big ups to all the Yardies. Eve says hello. Jashinker is here from Coppell, Texas. I don't even know where that is. We got Danielle from Trinidad. Sophia's in Ohio. Oh, today's Jamaican Independence Day. Oh, are we going to have some mangoes? Are we going to have some biscuits? Are we going to have some of that cheese and bread stuff that Donna likes so much? Oh, coffee and Rice Krispies for Glenn for breakfast. We got Z and DC. Umaru says Yuma's definitely hotter. Happy holidays for Rich and Donna and all the Yardies. Let's see. Big holiday. I hope that means nobody's working. Creaky Bones is Mexican, so they're giving a shout out to all the essays out there. I didn't know Creaky Bones was Mexican. Did you guys? I didn't. Arkansas, South Carolina, Zimbabwe, Jamaica. All right. And look at this. Lana Lane is on their third and final year of law school. How about that? Okay, I have an announcement. So I've told you guys, I think, the story before about the first time I went to an immigration interview in Manhattan. The first time I went to an immigration interview in Manhattan. Manhattan's crazy. They have a full building. It's a federal building, the Javits building, I think it's called, or the Jacobs building. And there's one whole floor for Manhattan immigration cases and a whole other one for, is it Queens or Brooklyn? I think it's Brooklyn. Anyway, when you go there, They give you a colored piece of paper that's laminated, and then you follow it around to get to where your interview is. So my client and I were going around. I thought, oh, here I am in the big time. I'm in the Big Apple. I've got my first interview. I wonder how it's going to go. We're walking down the hallway, and I hear somebody come running towards us. He passed us, and then he turns and he comes running back towards us. He's got a badge on. I'm like, oh shit, I'm in trouble. And he says, are you the guy that makes the YouTube videos? And I said, I am. He said, oh, I want you to know that I watch your show, and I watch your videos. Back then I didn't have the show. I watch your videos, and that's how I learned how to do my job. So that was really funny. But the announcement is that one of our attorneys was down in Texas. I think it was Dallas. And she handed the officer her G-28, which is the form that says I'm the lawyer and I'm here for the case. And the officer looked at it. He goes, oh, you work at Hacking Immigration Law. He goes, I love Jim's show. I watch it every day. So that just made my day, that even now there's officers watching the show. I think that's great. I think that's great. I'm comfortable with everything I say. And, I think there's good officers. I think there's hard officers. I think there's mean officers. I think there's kind officers. I sort of talk about whatever it is I experience or that we hear from people. But to any other USCIS officers who are watching, welcome to the show. We'd love, of course, to have you on the show, but I don't know if that could actually happen, but wouldn't that be a treat? We did have a former DHS official who was pissed because he thought he'd get preferential treatment to bring his wife here from like the Philippines or Thailand. And that was all being dragged out, and he was really mad. So we're here for everybody. We're glad that everybody has found the show. We love that we're all learning from each other. Yep, that's exactly right. Thank you, Donna. Yeah, we did know they watched the show. Laura says, because yeah, that was Laura, because Laura was about to file a lawsuit and her case got approved. And so everybody's been convinced that they're keeping track on that minute of a level, but I don't know. It's all good. It's all fun. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Like I said, we'll be here till 11 a.m. Central, and we're going to start today's show with Alvaro. Hello, Alvaro.
Hi, good morning, Jim. Can you hear me?
I can. How you doing?
Awesome, good too. Thank you. I have a couple questions from two cases that belong to my family. The first is that my aunt, she lives in Colombia with her two daughters, and we're trying to bring them to the U.S. We passed the form I-130 back in December of 2016, and recently I've been looking at the visa bulletin, and it says that as of this month, they are revising cases from May of 2016. So I just want to know if there's a way that we can use maybe a parole or something to bring them as soon as possible, because it's been a long time, and it seems to be taking a long time for them to go through the cases from all those years ago.
Who filed for them?
It would be my grandma, her mother.
So
And she's a resident.
is grandma a U.S. citizen or a green card holder?
Green card holder.
And so grandma has applied for and has an approved I-130 that was filed in 2016.
That's right.
Okay, and so when in 2016?
In December 28th, it says that's when we got the notification that they received it and they approved it.
Okay. Well, they received it December of 2016, or they approved it December of 2016? There's a priority date. What we want is the priority date or the receipt date.
It says receipt date.
Mm-hmm. And what is the receipt date? December of 2016?
Yeah, December 28th, 2016.
Okay, so I just looked at the visa bulletin. They're on May of 2016. Now, I know that thing hasn't been moving very quickly because there's just a lot of people in line ahead of them, and the embassies haven't made these a priority. But they're only 6 months away. I wouldn't mess with parole. I wouldn't mess with anything else. They just have to wait.
Yeah, because it's kind of unpredictable, because I was checking from the visa bulletin of the years before, and they were stalled in a single date in 2015 for 17 months. Like, it didn't move at all for 17 months.
Yep, but I think that's all they can do is just wait.
Gotcha. And the other one is it respects to my mom. She got married recently to a citizen,
Okay.
and before that, we have been here in the country on a pending asylum application through her. So I just want to know, since I'm dependent on her asylum case, which started before I was of age. Um,
How old are you right now?
right now, I'm 23,
Okay.
and we've been having it pending for 10 years now.
10 years.
So I have a work permit that goes up to 2028, and I just want to know if there's a way that I can maybe request an asylum of my own based off of her case from before.
This is all really tricky. So has her new spouse filed anything for her, or she's right now she's still the only thing she has going is the asylum case?
No, yeah, she's working on the process of getting the. Oh, that's another question. So since she's working on her case to get the papers through marriage, is there a way that I could be included in that since I was a minor when we got to the country?
No, that's not the question. The question, that's why I asked how old you are. The question is, how old were you when the relationship with the person that she married started? Were you over 18?
Yeah, I was 13.
Yeah, so you can't go through her process. Plus, you would have probably aged out anyway. You guys need to be very, very careful, because if she gets her green card, her asylum case is over, and you are a derivative. You need to file. Has she had an interview on her asylum case?
No, no notice of any kind.
What country are you from?
Colombia.
Um, I think, first of all, this is something bigger. This is really important. So somebody needs to talk to your mom and to you, like not on this show, but like as a lawyer, to talk about what happens to your case and whether or not you have you'd have to have your own reasons for fear. You can't, if mom's out of the case, it all turns to you. And so you'd have to show that you yourself have either the similar fears or different fears about why you can't go back. But you're going to have to stand on your own 2 feet. So it's a very risky thing. If she gets her green card tomorrow, you're in trouble.
Even if I have already the work permit?
Work permit doesn't mean anything. It's all dependent on an asylum case that's closed. So you got to be really careful, and you have to take responsibility for your own situation, because once she gets that green card, you're on your own. And if she's filed that green card application without you having your case, if her case, some green cards get approved really quickly right now.
Really?
Yeah. And without an interview. So you might get no notice that her green card's been approved, and then your asylum case, then you need to get your own asylum case on file.
Okay, but it is possible then to file a case of my own. I just have to.
Well, you have to get out of her case and file one of your own. And, there's a general rule that you apply within 1 year of arrival. I hope that mom did that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're going to have to try to take advantage of that. And that's your explanation as to why you didn't file earlier. But this isn't something you can pull off on your own. You're in a very, very tricky situation.
Yeah, it seems to be trickier than I thought it was.
It's very, very tricky.
All right.
Thanks, Alvaro. See you, buddy.
Thank you, Jim.
Have a good day. Yep. All right. Sandy's here. Hi, Sandy.
Yes. Good morning. Can you hear me?
I can. How you doing?
Okay, good. I was going to married and sponsor has an I-864 sponsorship. A couple of income questions have come up, and one of them would be that I have in the last couple of years, my tax returns don't show an income, but I do have savings, and I also have a Social Security. So I was wondering how that plays out for financial support for I-864 support.
So USCIS will say lots of different ways. Oh, we'll consider the money you have in the account. Social Security doesn't count towards anything, but you're going to be 10 times happier if you find a co-sponsor than if you try to fight with them to consider assets or anything else. It's very, very difficult to get them to actually do calculations or accept calculations. So 99 times out of 100, we're almost always going to encourage people to find a co-sponsor.
Okay. All right. So So why is Social Security is not counted at all?
because it's not income.
Oh, okay. So that's separate.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
I don't understand why that's not income, I guess.
It's not considered income because it's not something that they can liquidate and get. They want to make sure that you can support the person. So,
Okay, so even if you have savings,
I mean, here's what I'll say. You can do whatever you want. I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm telling you that after having done, our office has done literally probably over 1,000 I-864s, and your life is going to be 1,000 times easier if you find a co-sponsor than dealing with trying to get them to consider assets or Social Security or anything else.
okay, so how about income from a position, a job? Because I'm recently going to be hired with a position and an income.
That's great, but you need 3 years of good earnings.
Okay. All right.
Is that it?
Yeah, that pretty much answered that question.
Okay.
That's the difficult one.
Yep. Thanks, Sandy. See ya.
Okay.
Okay, bye. I was on a call the other day, a couple weeks ago, with someone, and there was an age gap, and I was telling her that her husband, I think it was, or fiance, was not going to get a visa, and she thought that I was she wrote to us and said she thought I was making fun of her, and I wasn't making fun of her, but I am sensitive to the fact that I need to be a little bit more compassionate when I'm telling people tough things, especially people that are new to the show that don't understand sort of how I do things. So I'm trying to be more kind with people when I'm giving them tough news or not what they want to hear. So thank you, Rich. I will try to do better on that. All right. I-130 question. Hello.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Great.
So I was on here probably a couple months ago now. And I have a question. So I'm married to a US citizen and I'm filing all my paperwork, so I filed it right when the fees changed and then they sent my packet back because of the fees or something. So, but we came up with this thing that I don't have like my entry from like my I-94 from when I came in. I came in like in 2006. So I have DACA, but my I've checked with my mom and all of that stuff, and she doesn't have any of that information. Um, I've done is it FOIA?
Mhm.
I don't know. Do you know how long that takes? Because I've done it like a couple months back and I haven't gotten anything back
Yeah,
either.
CBP FOIAs, and that's who you did it with the CBP. Yeah, those
Yeah.
can take 9 to 12 months.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, where did you enter? How did you enter? I mean, this is the most important thing. Like
Yeah.
when someone comes in my office and they show me some old I-94 from 2006, the first thing I do, I stop talking to them and I take a picture of it because it's literally the most valuable thing that they own. Because it's so
Yeah.
hard to recreate something from 18 years ago.
Yeah,
So
I know. Well,
how did you enter?
I entered through like in a car
Right.
through it was like in Texas.
So you
Um
probably is no I-94.
yeah, so my mom like says she has no idea like where it like she's like I know I don't have it.
How about
Um
who did you enter with? Who did you enter with?
my mom and my brother, which they both actually are US citizens.
Mhm.
My brother just got his citizenship like last month. Um but he didn't have any records of it either. Um, so I'm like, what are my chances if I send my stuff? Because I mean, it's been like months now and I don't have any new information to submit.
So right now there's nothing on file?
No, I haven't. They sent it back to me, so I haven't sent it. So I also was like contemplating on like sending my I-1 doing my I-130 online and then submitting the rest of the packet, but I didn't know if that was going to be too much confusion. But I have everything ready to go. I just need to, I'm still in that one portion that I'm not
How long ago?
100%
How long
sure.
ago? How long ago did Mom get her green card before she became a citizen?
Green card, she got her green card like in 2000. That was a long time ago, like 2010 maybe.
So what I would do is I would have your mom FOIA her complete immigration file. I would have your brother FOIA his complete immigration file in the hopes that there's something that they had some. I mean, the chances of all three of you getting green cards without any of you having any actual proof of valid entry is pretty remote. So
Yeah.
I have to think that even if Mom doesn't have it now, at some point she probably did.
The thing is, I think she had something else going on. So I think she went back after. No, never mind. I take that back. Yeah, I don't know. I just know that they both, like, I've looked at like my brother's stuff, like I've looked at all of their stuff of what they sent in, and I don't see any of that. It's just kind of like on the, I guess where it asks for it, like the 485, it just says kind of like on file or something like that, but
So
there is no copy
again,
of it.
it's free to
Uh-huh.
do a FOIA of Mom's file and your brother's file. So just
Mhm.
based on what paperwork they have
Yeah.
is not the best thing to do. I think there might be electronic notes in the file that somebody decided that they were adjustable. Somebody decided that your mom was adjustable, that your brother was adjustable, and they would have had to have made some kind of a conclusion that they had a valid entry.
Yeah.
That's all good for you. So there's no downside to requesting their files if they're willing to do that for you.
Okay. So, but again, that's the one that could take like 9 to 12 months.
For sure. I mean, USCIS is faster than CBP. So we have to think about a lot of things. Number one, there's a 50-50 chance that Donald Trump comes into office in January. So you don't really have a lot of time to waste.
Yeah.
So I would do that. And then I think we have to talk about one other thing.
Mhm.
You said you have DACA, right?
Yeah.
Have you filed for or requested advanced parole on your DACA?
No, never.
Okay. So what country are you from?
Mexico.
Do you have any like old family members in Mexico or anybody that you haven't seen in a long time?
Yeah, I still have a grandmother and my dad actually lives.
You need to think about applying for advanced parole from DACA.
Yeah.
And once you, like, if I were you, I'd probably, this is what I'd be thinking about. I'd be thinking about having your spouse file the I-130 petition. Get that on file. Don't file for adjustment yet. Get the I-130 on file. Also file for advanced parole for you. It shouldn't take it. Hopefully you can get it before the end of the year.
Mhm.
And then you're going to go back and see grandma and see dad if you want to.
Mhm.
And then you're going to come back and then you have a valid entry and you don't need to worry about that I-94. I think that's what I would do. I would do the I-130, get that thing started, get your receipt date and your priority date. Your spouse is a U.S. citizen, right?
Yeah.
Then I would do a FOIA for mom, a FOIA for brother, and a USCIS FOIA for you.
Uh-huh.
And then after that, I would also get the advanced parole thing going so that you have permission to leave the United States.
Mhm.
And then once you come back, then you have a valid entry and you can file that 485.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
If you need help, let me know. I love working on these cases. We got somebody back on DACA the Friday night before Trump took office. I like to feel like we were one of the last ones who had somebody come through on DACA advanced parole. So you've got that in your back pocket right now. I would do everything I just said.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Good question.
Thank you.
Thanks for the call.
All right. Bye.
See you. All right. Danny, is that you?
Hi.
Did I say your name right?
Yes, you did.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Awesome.
I came back to my home country, which is Trinidad, in July. I was on OPT and it expired in May, so I came back before the grace period ended. And then the company that I was working for, they filed for the H-1B lottery for me, and it was the status was just showing the status was just showing submitted, and then I didn't get selected for that one. But then when they did the second lottery recently, I got selected for it. So now I'm in the process of like filling out the form. So the company has the ETA 9035 and 9035E form, which
Mhm.
was 35. So we have that copy. And then I'm filling out the form. Do you think that there would be a discrepancy with the US address that I used while I was there and now having to use my Trinity address?
No.
So do I use the Trinidad address or do I use the US address of where I usually stay when I'm there?
If we weren't talking about immigration, do you have any connection left to that address or no?
Well, my family is there.
So
So
there's
that's
like an American. No, you should. They're gonna. You need to talk to the employer about this. Obviously, they know you're not in the United States.
yeah.
So you need to make sure that the case is pointed towards Trinidad, right? So that you don't. I wouldn't confuse them. They can do H-1Bs with someone's overseas address. If you put the U.S. address, that might confuse them, and they might think you're trying to change status, but you're not in the United States. So
Right anymore, yeah.
I'd be pointing towards Trinidad. So just play it straight.
But since on the form, when I was looking at the ETA 9035 form,
Yeah.
it has the US address on there. So would that be an
No.
issue? No.
Mm-mm.
Do you guys do like overview of the forms? If I just like fill out the form and everything, could I send it for you guys to overview?
No, we don't. We're either the attorneys or we're not. We don't review forms, and you shouldn't be doing any of this. The employer should be doing all this. You shouldn't be doing.
Yeah, I know, but just for me to oversee to make sure that the information on there is correct and so forth.
Yeah,
Because
no,
we
we
don't
don't.
have, I don't think they have like a lawyer, but the HR person and every is doing the forms and stuff for me.
That's sort of scary. So,
Yeah.
especially with something a little tricky like this, you might want
Yeah.
to talk to the employer about talking to us.
Okay.
All right.
How do I know your fees and stuff? Is it online or do I have to message or?
Yeah, just message us.
Okay. All right.
Thanks,
Thank you so
Danny.
much.
See ya. Congrats
Bye.
on getting picked. Yeah, for sure. All right, I think we got some big news. Today's Ryan's birthday. Happy birthday, Ryan, on Jamaican Independence Day. Ryan is here. We got a lot of the Yardies are in the house today. Donna's here. Rich is here. Rich remembers that call that I had. So thanks for keeping me honest, Rich. I appreciate that. Oh, Creaky Bones. Why don't you review forms, Jim? Should I not? No, Creaky Bones. You should not review forms. It's not good for your malpractice. You're liable for any issues on the forms that you review, and you're not getting paid accordingly. So don't demean your law degree and your bar admissions by just being a form reviewer. They can have a fucking notario do that. So do not do that. No. Oh, Ryan's birthday's on the 30th. Okay, Ryan. Well, all right. Well, anyway, we're having a good day. All right. John is here. Hello, John. You're on mute, brother.
All right. Thank you for taking my question.
Sure.
Hey, so it's actually about a potential employee of mine or a recruit. Work for an insurance company, and we work as independent contractors as a 1099. And my guy has a H-1B visa with restrictions. He's currently sponsored by an employer. And so we were wondering, if, some of the research we did said that, he would have to file for another H-1B visa in order to join another company or to receive income from another company.
True.
And I want some clarity on that.
That's true. What's his current H-1B occupation? What's the job?
He's a tech guy, IT guy.
And is that what you wanted to do for you?
No, he wants to earn additional income and basically sell insurance and financial services.
So he would need a separate H-1B, and he probably isn't qualified for it because he doesn't have a degree in any of that stuff. His degree's in computer science. So it would be hard to get a second H-1B on a completely different job type.
Okay. Yeah, so that would be out of the question then.
I think the chances of success would be very small.
Okay. His sister had just received her EAD.
Yeah.
And so she would qualify, and she doesn't need any approval or anything once she has that, right?
That's her work. That's her. I mean, you got to do all the I-9 stuff, but that's her proof of authorization to work in the United States. Yeah, she can do that anywhere.
Okay. All right. So no hope for this guy. I feel bad for him. What about, and you may not, I'm not sure if you know about this, but as far as earning income, as far as investments, I want to ask you that question because you're primarily immigration, but thank you so much for taking that question.
Bye, John. See you, buddy.
Bye, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Nick. What up, Nick?
Hey, Jim. Thank you for putting me on. I have two questions for you. So we got the request for LFIE, but the house that my wife has was before the marriage, and we cannot be added on the deed. So I'm trying to see what happens if we don't send that in with a request. And the other one is a while back I sent a picture of my social to somebody, and I don't know if they use it or if the case be denied or not.
Okay, so you have a marriage-based green card case on file, and you received a request for evidence.
Yes.
Why did you receive a request for evidence? Did you not submit a bunch of marriage evidence?
My lawyer didn't submit everything.
Why?
The lawyer that I have in New York, he just sent a birth certificate of my wife, and I don't know what else he said.
Why did he do that?
I'm not sure. Maybe because he said,
Maybe because he's an idiot.
yeah, he said he had done a lot. I don't know why he didn't send everything. But he only sent, he didn't send pictures, nothing. And he's sending the pictures either
So
today
now
or this
now
week.
are you telling me that you have lots of other evidence, but you just don't have?
Yeah, we have the joint taxes, bank statements, bills, car list together. We just don't have like
Yeah,
the
I mean,
house or apartment because she has the
does your
house as a gift before marriage.
does your driver's license have that address on it?
Yes,
Do you get mail at that address?
yes.
Is the lawyer charging you more for responding to the request for evidence?
I don't think so. We
Okay,
haven't mentioned anything.
good. Okay. Yeah, I mean, if you have lots and lots and lots of other evidence, you can survive that as long as you can establish that you both live at that address. That's okay.
And the other question was, a while back I was trying because I live in New York and I started to get a handicap placard and the person that was trying to help, he asked for a picture of the social and I sent them a picture of it. I don't know if they used it or if they did anything with it. But I
Do you have
got a
any,
work authorization, so I don't know if the background investigation is the same or is it different when it comes to the 485.
as we sit here right now, do you have any reason to believe that somebody used your social security card improperly? Do you have any reason to think that?
Yeah, I saw something and it came in the mail too, and I think I submitted it. Somebody used it as a fraud or trade with something.
Okay, so immigration wise, I don't really know what to say about that. I've never had someone ask me that before. You probably need to talk to a criminal attorney where you live. That's more a criminal thing than an immigration thing.
Because the lawyer that I have here, he told me if it was anything, I wouldn't have got the work
Oh,
authorization.
that's bullshit. That's bullshit. He doesn't know that. This
And that's
lawyer's a
what he
fucking
said.
moron.
I don't know if he just saying answers like that because he's
Yeah,
not paid in
just making
full
stuff up.
or
There's no way
maybe
to know that. There's no way to know that that's not a problem. I got to go, Nick. Thanks, buddy.
thank you.
See ya. All right. I think I forgot somebody had some good news up above. Where is that? Somebody. Where is it? Somebody had good news up here. Emily. It was Emily. Hi, everyone. We just got approved for the I-130 and the 45, 3 months and 3 days from start to finish. No interview, no RFE. Thank you, Jim, for answering all my questions and concerns. Good job, Emily. Oh, I remember Emily. Yeah, I remember Emily. I liked her. All right, Jerry's here. What's up, Jerry? I can't hear you. You're on mute.
How are you? And thank you for the opportunity.
Sure.
So, I filed for my son when I was still a legal permanent resident,
Mhm.
and I was in 2019.
Mhm.
And my priority date is April 23rd, 2019.
Mhm.
And then I became a U.S. citizen on January 29th, 2024. But then the embassy in Monrovia had requested for and had his passport like a few months before I became a U.S. citizen
Mhm.
because he took his passport sometime in September, and then I became a citizen in January of 24. So then I wrote the embassy. First, I wrote the MVC and notified them of my change of status. And then they said to write the embassy and notify the embassy of my change of status because my case was now with the embassy in Monrovia
Yeah.
and I didn't have it anymore. So then I wrote the embassy, and then the embassy wrote back and said that my son is now the adult child of a U.S. citizen. Now that I have declared my change of status, so he's being removed now, I think, from the F2 to the F1 category, and the priority date on the because I just look at the the visa bulletin.
Yep.
The priority date for F2 is somewhere around 2023. So if he had stayed on F2, then he was definitely going to get a visa as soon as possible. But now that he has been moved to F1,
Yeah.
and the date for F1 is actually 2017 right now.
Mhm.
So it has not gotten to 2019 yet.
So
Um,
you did it a little bit wrong.
yes.
What you should have done is when you became a citizen, notified the embassy, but requested that they continue to treat him as an F2B. You can still do that, but like they honored your wishes by treating him as the son of a child, the son of a U.S. citizen instead of the son of a green card holder. But
Yes.
you can write them again and say, "Hey, everybody, I know I notified you that I became a citizen back in January of 2024, and asked you to consider him to be the son of a U.S. citizen, but we want him to be treated in the F2B category as the adult child of a green card holder."
Okay. So I can do that, right?
You can.
Okay. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I'll go do that right away and I'll get back to you.
Good luck, Jerry. Let us know how it goes.
Thank you, sir.
Bye, buddy. All right, all right. Sandy asked an interesting question. I wonder why Jim does not take age gap cases. Because they're impossible? We take age gap cases all the time. That lady who I allegedly was mean to wasn't listening to me, and they had all kinds of problems beyond the age gap. Age gap cases are winnable. We've won. Amani holds the record in the office, and the age gap was, I'll have to ask her. It was more than 40 years. And I had one where it was like 36 years. So yeah, we take age gap cases all the time. I just didn't want to take that case. I could go back and watch the video again. It wasn't a winnable case. There was some other fundamental flaw in there. And I wasn't nicely telling her this visa is not going to be issued. She just, I should have been a little nicer. How about that? All right. Alicia, are you there? Hello. You're on mute. Hello, Alicia. You're on mute.
Oh,
Are you there?
sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, yes, I was on mute myself. I didn't realize that. I'm calling on behalf of my sister. My sister is being a legal permanent resident for the longest time. And the issue was that when she first came, she was sponsored by my father. My father petitioned her I-130, and she became the daughter of, my father was LPR as well, but then he became a US citizen. So what happened is that when she was petitioned by my father, she had already been in the United States for 2 years. And she came with a tourist visa, B1, B2. Unfortunately, at the time, she was not fully aware of the immigration laws, like we all are, at some point as immigrants in this country.
Sure.
And so then we had the 245I, the INA, that
Yep.
was an, how is it called? Amnesty or something like that.
That's right.
Yeah, for people who were petitioned by LPRs or U.S. citizens, they have to prove that we're legally present, from January 15, 1998 to April 30th, 2001. So she got her permanent resident card, and INS at the time said that, oh, that was a mistake. We never meant to send her a green card, but you failed to submit supplement A, which is the $1,000 penalty that you pay for filing an I-485 once the I-130 was approved.
Yep.
So then she got the green card and she thought that's it. INS is gonna forget. So she filed for citizenship in 2013. Then she was denied, and then in 2015 she went to an interview, and they told her that she needed to provide some proof of having been during that time that I mentioned before here in the U.S. Legal proof that she was here. And she's wondering, what kind of legal proof she can present to USCIS now in order for her to become a U.S. citizen, based on the INA 245I. So what will be that proof? Is it photos? Is it pay stubs? Is it IRS transcripts? What could it be a good proof so her citizenship is finally approved?
So how many times has she applied for citizenship?
Twice. In 2013,
Yep.
she was denied. In 2015, she was denied, but she went to an interview, and she requested a FOIA. So in the FOIA, it came all this explanation that I gave to you in a nutshell. There is more to it, but I want to be brief because you have a lot of people waiting
Sure. No, I
behind me.
appreciate that, but I want to see the
Yeah.
FOIA. I want to see the FOIA.
You like to see the FOIA?
Because I want to know exactly what they asked for. I mean, first of all, we all have to ask the question: do we think there's a path here for her to get her citizenship? It doesn't make sense to me that if somebody didn't satisfy the requirements of the Life Act by paying that $1,000 and got their green card in error, a big part of me is saying, should this person even ever apply for citizenship again, or should they just lay low? Because if they don't have an independent, do they have a 21-year-old U.S. citizen child by any chance?
No.
So, you keep applying for citizenship when you weren't supposed to get your green card. They could just deny you for citizenship again, or they could say, oh yeah, we forgot about you. We should have deported you a long time ago. We're going to take that green card you never should have gotten and put you in deportation. So I think the first question that should be asked about your sister's situation is, should she ever apply for citizenship again? That's question number one.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is we don't know that she has a valid green card. If she has a valid green card, you don't get to jump to citizenship with an invalid green card. Clearly they flagged all this. So I'd be very interested to see the FOIA. If you're saying there's some kind of a request for evidence in there, or a notice to deny, that seems to indicate that if she could come up with some magic evidence that she was here then, that satisfies the requirements of paying the $1,000, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but I'd be interested to see it.
Yeah. But they're very clear on this explanation for denial. They're saying that they wanted my sister to demonstrate that she was physically present in the U.S.
in my mind, that doesn't
on December 21, 2000. I mean, that's what they're saying.
That's for Life Act qualification, but I don't know how that then jumps to, oh yeah, she gets to become a citizen. It doesn't make sense to me. So even if they're thinking things that are wrong, I'm not going to put her at risk by filing again if I don't think there's a path for her.
Oh, okay.
Does that
So you
make
think
sense?
her? Yes, it does. And do you think her case is doomed? I mean, this
I do.
case.
I
You
do.
do.
Yeah.
Even if she's able to get the evidence, like photos
Me,
and.
that's not if I as an attorney look at an old request for evidence from 8 years ago or 9 years ago, and I conclude that whatever this officer was asking about was dumb. I mean, that case got denied too, right? So we have 2 denials.
Yeah.
So for all I know, it got denied because the officer, I mean, did she not respond to that notice of
She
intent?
didn't. Yeah, she didn't. She chickened out. I mean, she
Yeah.
got scared.
Yeah.
I mean, she got busy too because she's a business owner. I mean, she has her own business here in the U.S. She's thrived throughout the years.
So what I'm saying is just because some dumb officer or some officer makes a dumb request for evidence doesn't mean that I'm going to, if I think it's safer for her to withdraw that citizenship application. Like if she'd come to me when she got it and I took a look at it and I was like, I don't know why in the hell this officer is asking for this, because proof that she was in the United States prior to the Life Act deadline doesn't solve the problem that she didn't pay the $1,000 and that the green card was invalidly. If they're talking about anything about the green card being invalid, which it sounds like they are, that makes me very worried for her when she has no other real path to stay.
Right, but they're asking for the evidence, which we think is photographs, with date stamps and all of that.
But
They're
what I'm saying
asking
is,
that
I don't
because
think you're getting what I'm saying. They ask for stuff that doesn't make any sense sometimes. And I think I'm smarter. I think I can interpret the Immigration Act more accurately. And if I think there's any risk of them taking her green card, then I'm not going to let her apply for citizenship.
Yeah, but when you go to the 245 parenthesis INA, it says in one of the requirements to establish that you are a legal permanent resident in the U.S. is to provide these pictures, to pay the $1,000 and provide physical evidence of having been in the United States during that time period.
She was missing that. I get it.
Yeah, she was missing that. So she missed that piece of evidence.
$1,000.
She paid the $1,000. She paid later. No, she paid it. She paid it later on. When she applied for the first time, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. She paid for the $1,000. But then they came back saying, but you didn't have a I-485 in place. Because that 485, so they mix everything up. It's like a word salad. This letter that she received from her FOIA, it's a word salad. And they're coming back with this evidence, and we're planning to get the evidence, but I don't know how viable is that, for her.
Here's what I'll say. It sounds like everything's jumbled up.
Yeah.
I think there's a risk that she could lose her green card if she applies for citizenship again. If you're just asking me, are pictures and stuff showing that she was here in those years and maybe an affidavit from me or some other family member enough? Maybe. Hopefully she has some kind of doctor records or school records or something that shows that she was here. Besides just photos in and of itself isn't going to carry the day. But what I'm begging you to do is to consider the risk more than just whether or not this evidence satisfies some ancient request for evidence.
Yeah. And they keep renewing her green card. I mean, she's renewed it probably 3 times already.
Yeah, I
so
believe.
When it comes to renew the green card, they don't have an issue, but they have an issue when it comes to naturalize.
Because it's, as I say often, it's their last chance to deport you.
Yeah, but she has another chance to be deported, when she renews the green card.
Yeah, but I've made videos about this. I've always been shocked.
Yeah.
By people who get their green cards renewed when, if anybody was really paying attention, they shouldn't have.
Yeah.
All right, Alicia. Thanks.
So we should send you the FOIA?
If you want to, I'd be interested to see that request for evidence.
Okay. Very good. Thank you very much.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Bye.
All right, Eli is here. Hello, Eli.
Oh, hi, Jim. So thank you for having me. So I have like two quick questions, but let me just describe a little bit the situation I'm in. So I think it's a little bit unusual. So I'm trying to apply in the third country, and basically, I don't want to claim my ties to my home country because I don't have plans, like basically coming back there. So I'm thinking of applying in the country I'm residing in currently,
Applying
in
for
Turkey.
what?
For B2.
Okay, so you're a Turkish national.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm a Russian national. So
And so you're a Russian national in Turkey who wants to apply for a visit visa to the United States.
yeah, correct.
Okay, so what's the question?
Oh yeah, and my question is, do you think it's a good idea at all, and how high my chances are with me trying to claim my ties to Turkey, for example, the place I'm residing in right now?
Well, as I say on the show a lot, many visit visas are denied. I think the majority of visit visas are denied. When you're talking about applying for a visit visa in a third country, the chances go down even more. So I'm not saying it's a good idea or a bad idea. I think your chances of success are probably about 10%.
Mm-hmm. But I've got to mention, so in my home country, in my home country, I simply don't have U.S. embassies operating right now. So,
That's true.
Yeah. So, and I had another question. So,
but listen.
Mm-hmm.
Why? How can you convince them that you're going to go back to Turkey?
Oh, well, currently I'm trying to get my residence permit, and I don't know. I don't really have any family or ties to the country here, to Turkey, but I'm thinking about it. But for now, I got nothing. So
then I think you're not going to get a visit visa to the United States.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, so I had another question. What do you think about applying to another country but claiming ties to Turkey in case I eventually have something I can tie to?
What do you mean applying to another country? I don't know what that means.
Oh, apply to in another country because of the wait times.
A U.S. embassy, like no, dude, no, that's not going to work.
Because it's going to be considered as visa shopping, right?
Well, you're already so far out on the limb. I mean, you have no ties to Turkey. That's where you've been living. Mm-hmm. You then pick another embassy out of the phone book and say, "Hey, I'm going to go apply there." I mean, no.
I mean, you see, I haven't applied yet, so I'm thinking maybe I should start applying in another country.
No, if you're going to apply in Turkey.
All right. Yeah, basically it. So thank you.
All right, good luck.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Eli. Yep, see you, buddy. Barnabas is here. Hello, Barnabas.
Hi, Jim. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good too. I just wanted to quickly share some good news on my N400 with 751 pending. I had come on and I think sometime in March spoke with you. So we did have the interview on July 29th, and that went really okay. It went well. I think their system is now picking up on the 751 pending. And so with the interview notice, they did specifically state that this was for the two applications and to come to the interview with my spouse.
That's the first time anyone's ever told me that, or that I've seen that.
That's why I wanted to come on and mention that. They didn't even speak with her, but it was on the interview notice to come with her, and that this was for 751 and N400.
Awesome. That's great.
Yeah, I just wanted to share that.
So have you gotten a decision? Have you heard anything?
It was just July 29th. I did get the congratulations on that day, but I'm just waiting for the oath swearing ceremony.
When did you file, Barnabas, the N400?
It was on March 21st. I was eligible on March 11th. You are advised to wait a week to do it. So I think March 21st.
So like 4 months.
Yes, correct.
Great. Awesome. Well, let us know when you get your citizenship. I'm happy for you, Barnabas.
Thank you, Jim.
Thanks for the call. That's good to know. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Bye, buddy. Yeah. Typically, you'll get a notice for the 751 or the N400, not for both. Barnabas got the interview notice for both, so hopefully USCIS is starting to put the two cases together. Because sometimes people get screwed up. They don't bring their spouse, or they don't think they have to prove up the 751. So I'm glad that worked out for Barnabas, and hopefully he's going to be a citizen here real soon. Kayla is here. Hi, Kayla.
Hi, Jim. Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm not so good. Please,
What's
can
up?
I be off camera?
Of course. You are off camera.
Thank you. How you doing?
I'm okay.
Okay. So I got into the U.S. I came to visit my elder sister. I was married in my home country, but my marriage has been having some issues for some time now, and I just got an information and a message from my husband that he's no longer interested in the marriage and that someone else is pregnant for him. So I really do not know what to do. I don't know if I want to file a divorce, can I do it from here or I have to do it from my home country?
I'm sorry that you're going through this. When did you enter the United States?
About 3 months now.
So you're on a B1, B2 with like a 6-month entry?
Yes, sir.
So what would be the plan? In answer to your question, you could apply for divorce here. I don't know how that would work with you having to leave in 3 months. So what's your overall plan immigration wise?
I don't really know what to do. Like, should I stay? And because I'm trying to figure out how to put my life back together.
Sure. I mean, it's certainly a sad situation. It doesn't change your immigration status, though. It doesn't change, like, there's no way to stay because your husband back home filed for divorce or is cheating on you. So you need to sort of separate out those things
Okay.
and say what's the immigration base. I mean, you could apply for an extension of status. You could do that. I mean, you could do that. That would get you another 6 months or longer because it takes them a while to adjudicate that. But that's going to make it harder for you to come back in the future.
Okay.
You're not going to be able to change over most likely to an employment type visa. The main ways people can stay are employment, asylum, or if you got married to a U.S. citizen. That's really all that there is.
Okay. So if I want to, okay, so I can file a divorce from here.
Yep.
Would that be possible?
It's possible. It depends on the state where you live in, but generally you have to hire. I mean, I would suggest hiring a lawyer, file for divorce, and then you have to give notice to your husband. So every state has different rules on how you give notice to your husband. So he could accept service, which means that you guys send it to him and he says, yeah, I got it, and I understand that there's a divorce pending against me. Or you could try to hire someone back in the home country to actually serve him a copy of the divorce proceedings, or you could try both those things, and if those don't work, then you could publish it in a legal newspaper.
Okay.
And even though he's back in your home country and probably doesn't read that legal newspaper, the courts would allow that to be proper service. This is why you need a lawyer, because you got to follow the right rules for your state as to how to file notice by publication, is what it's called, so that they can so that they receive actual or what's constructive notice. Like they got notice of the divorce, then the judge issues the divorce decree, and then that's the end of the divorce stuff. You're legally divorced here. I don't know whether you're legally divorced back in your home country. I don't know how that would work. And then then you're still dealing with your immigration thing. So you could file for a 6-month extension, but really, as of right now, that's all you got.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm sorry, Kayla. Hang in there.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Have a good day.
All right.
She sounded sad. We wish her well. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm going to do another show tomorrow. Back with you all week. Episode 647 tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. Central, right here from the downtown studios. By the way, I was in downtown Burbank. Did I tell you guys I went to Noor and Amani and I went to the Warner Brothers studio tour? Noor loves Gilmore Girls, so we got to see the sets, all the sets of the Gilmore Girls. The coolest thing for me was we got to see the costumes and the props, but the coolest thing was we got to see, there's a show, I haven't watched it, it's called All American. It's on Netflix. And that's a show that they're still making. So the sets were all set up. They weren't filming then, so we got to go all through the sets. It was really neat to see. So we've done the Universal tour, but that's more like a amusement park kind of a thing. This is actually an actual set. I'll show you some pictures tomorrow. We got to see the Friends set and all this other stuff. So it was a fun trip. Hope you all have a good rest of your day, and we'll see you tomorrow for the next episode at 11:30 Central. Thanks, everybody. Bye, Rich. And happy Independence Day to all the Yardies. Bye, guys. I'm great about that, other than trying to help people who are in a state of invasion.